Where am I?
The appeal of this podcast is that it's open and honest.
Yeah.
And it's brutally honest, I'll say.
Yes.
Great. Glad we got that cleared up. I had 3 intros prepared in my head.
And you don't remember any of them?
No, as soon as I hit record, it's just, whoosh, it's gone.
I didn't even realize we were recording.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
This is professionally done.
Yep.
Dude, a lot's happened this week, though, kind of.
It's been a wild week.
We had Burger King.
Burger King came out as super straight, which I thought was very brave of them.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly what's happened. Look, I don't think they did anything wrong. I know people are mad at them for their heinous tweet, but I think it's in service of the greater good.
My thing is...
Oh, we should probably say what it is if nobody knows.
I think everybody knows. But so Burger King, UK specifically, the fucking colonizers.
The UK's kind of had a rough week. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, they've been under a little bit of pressure. So Burger King UK sent out a tweet that said women belong in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Which not a great look.
But
they did follow it up by being like, if they want to, which is very like it's very like a guy being like, if anything, I'll be the one in the kitchen unless you want to be the head chef at a 5-star restaurant. It's like a lot of that energy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Look, as somebody who closely follows like cooking shit and like and restaurant shit, I don't want to call myself a foodie because that sucks, but you know what I mean. I consume a lot of food related content, and like it is a thing that like women are not chefs, like it's a predominantly male industry.
It's also like an extremely toxic industry from what I know.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like every restaurant that I've ever been to is just like has a huge drug problem in the kitchen, and like they're all having sex with each other. That's my understanding.
They're all angry. Well, the best kitchen I've ever experienced was this Crate place, and they were dead silent. And I was like, wow, what an efficiently well-run establishment. And then I later found out that everyone worked there was deaf. Which is why it was so they could have had the same problems that I just wouldn't have known. But I was really impressed. I was like, wow, what a well-run shop. And then they like start signing at me. I'm like, oh,
whoops.
Yeah.
Which goes to my point. Which goes to my point recently when I said I think Helen Keller had the best life of anybody to ever live.
Yeah.
So much of what upsets me is just visual and auditory information.
That is true. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I would have rather not seen or heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually pretty fair.
Like imagine being Helen Keller in 2020.
Oh, you're just vibing.
That's
all there is to do.
You're having a good time. You're just what do you... Is that Lego?
Like, what about Lego?
Like you do Lego? Is that a hobby that you could have as a blind deaf person? I was going to say puzzle. You can't do puzzles. I was going to say music. You can't do music. I think Lego is...
Braille Rubik's Cube.
You could do a Braille Rubik's Cube. I feel like that's going to run its course pretty quick.
Well, I'm not very good at them, so it'd probably...
If you think about it, Lego is just like a Braille puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, you won't really see what you're doing with them, but you can put them together, and it's a tactile thing.
Yeah, it's
You
a
can play with
and
sand,
yeah,
or Play-Doh or something.
you could play with sand.
I mean, like go to a sand box and make some sand castles or sand whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
true.
thing. That's a thing kids do, right?
I'm glad we're having this conversation on the episode. We're like, this has been a busy week.
This has been a busy week. Let's talk about making sand things.
Yeah.
So Burger
Burger
King did eventually, like, obviously people were very mad.
Yeah, they did follow it up immediately, being like,
Sorry.
we're doing scholarships for women in the culinary industry or whatever. Which, like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
My problem with it is that, like, if for anyone who's ever done 2 tweets at a time, only half the people look at the second tweet.
Yeah, but I think if I saw a company tweet something that inflammatory, I'm like, well, clearly they're up to something.
You're just, yeah.
So then I would click and look and go, oh, okay, they were trying to get me to click and look at this thing, and they succeeded. And obviously they're not, like, a company's not going to do that unless they, like, got hacked, and then they'd be like, sorry, we got hacked.
Yeah. I think that it's bad. Like, truly, I don't care. But
yeah, I also don't care. Let's make this very clear. I don't care about what Burger King tweets or doesn't tweet.
Yeah. My thing is that, like, it's all manufactured, and
it's manufactured, like, on both sides. Like
I mean,
Burger King,
the ad campaign, like, it's not just like a 19-year-old intern who fucked up on Twitter. Like, this is weeks of, like, teams of people working on this campaign that they've made newspaper ads, like full page newspaper ads.
Yeah.
Which, like, not great. And, like, so this was all pre-planned, and I'm wondering, like, okay, so you care about, like, gender equality in the workplace. When was the first time a woman saw that ad campaign? Was that, like, when it came out?
Well, I think if you look at it from it probably comes off better if you're looking at it from the side of the person making it, knowing the second, the setup and then the punchline. Not that it's a joke, but you know what I mean. It's the same kind of thing.
The payoff,
right? If you see that coming, you probably are like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's going to get people's attention, and then it's going to hit them with some facts, and this is going to get people talking about Burger King. So in a lot of ways, I think their campaign worked. Like, it is just an advertising thing. They don't actually care.
Like, they don't care at all.
Yeah.
And, like, my problem is that it's so pre-planned that, like, the deletion and the apology tweet were probably in drafts for, like, 2 weeks on Twitter.
I think they didn't realize that people would basically only. No, I think if they knew, they wouldn't have done it.
Burger King is, like, famous for doing ad campaigns that upset people.
True,
like,
but they don't usually apologize for them. And I think they were like, we're going to be inflammatory, but people are going to, like, not have a knee-jerk reaction, read the second tweet and go, oh, okay. And then I think they're going to be like, well, it's fine. But, like, people just either didn't read it or, like, just decided to be mad about the first tweet without really thinking about anything. So that's why I say it's manufactured on both sides. Like, I think a lot of people are just, like, choosing to be mad at this,
I agree. But the other side of the coin is that this is, like, a genuine thing that happens, like, daily. Like, there are a lot of women that, like, girls that grow up that get told that all the time. And that's why, like, they don't have ambition to do things. And, like, that's also why a lot of managers don't hire women. Like, I've seen that happen in my own personal life. I've seen managers be like, well, she's just a girl.
This is true. Girls can do whatever they want to do.
It's true. You cannot be president, but basically anything else.
And that's fine. Who would want to be president anyways?
Idiots.
Honestly. Yeah.
Complete morons. So because it's, like, a current thing that still affects people, it's just like you're putting a I don't know how much the evaluation of Burger King is, but like a multi-million-dollar at least company is backing this idea, and it's putting a
Yeah.
platform in the comments of the tweet of all the people being like, "Fuck yeah, Burger King! I'm gonna go get chicken fries because you tweeted women suck," which did happen, which is ultimately their reasoning for deleting the tweet. Was they're like, yeah, a lot of people are like being real bad in the comments. But like, you had to see that coming.
Yeah, well, when you phrase it like that, you make a good point. Though I would still say, as somebody who was recently canceled, who should have saw what was coming, and I didn't. Yeah, sometimes you just go, yeah, nothing's going to happen here, and you don't really think about it that much. But I'm also not a company with like a PR and a marketing department.
Yeah, like I
just a
I
guy.
think it would be absurd to think that there are less than 50 people working on that ad campaign.
Yeah. Well, it is the UK branch, so
yeah.
maybe because if I'd be more concerned if it was like the international arm of Burger King, but clearly like Burger King UK was like, oh, we're gonna have a little cheeky laugh with the boys or the bruvs,
I think it's
or whatever
also
the fuck.
that the bruvs. I think it's also that like the UK does have a problem where they're like, well, we're not America, so we don't have racism or sexism here.
Like every country's like that. And
Yeah.
it's like y'all
Canada,
are also
Canada
all
is
bad.
also Canada is also like that. It's like infuriating.
Or these countries who are like predominantly like one like ethnically like homogenous. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, we don't have a racism problem. I'm like, yes, you do. You don't have it as widespread as the U.S. because the U.S. has so many different types of people in it, and people don't like other people that are different from them typically.
Like a lot of Asian
Not that it's
countries have that.
Yeah. Japan hates everybody.
Which, like, fair, to be honest.
Well, no, I mean, it's more fair that everybody hates, like, you know, like Korea doesn't like Japan because of whole, like, Japan invading Korea for funsies. Yeah. Like, they did a lot of imperialism that, like, no one talks about when people are talking about, like, colonizers. No one's like, yeah, good old silly Japan in their anime. They didn't do anything wrong. Like, they did some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Fucking Pearl Harbor. Can't believe them.
That was very rude. But they did a lot of other pretty bad stuff. But then they invented anime, and then everyone's like,
and that was the worst thing that they've ever done.
Yeah, hentai was the worst thing to come out of Japan.
I was thinking about this recently. At any point, like, art is just like, it's art, right? Like, it's just drawings. You could have drawn like big titty anime babes in the year 2. Yeah. That could have happened. Hentai could have existed then.
At any point.
At any point in history, hentai could have started. But it only started like, I don't know, 30 years ago.
I don't know. It was probably a little bit before then, but yeah, whatever.
I feel like around then, like,
30 years ago was like the late 80s.
You know what? Yeah,
you're forgetting.
It is actually the early 90s. It is actually the early 90s, and I was thinking of the 70s.
Yeah, I do that too.
It's like
it's like the 2000 to 2010 just doesn't feel like time. You know, it's like
I feel like I was saying this to someone at work, very very unhinged of me. And I was just like, I think that, like, remember when they were saying that the world was going to end in 2012? I think that it did. I think that time has just stopped happening since then. And, like, nothing makes sense.
We went on the wrong timeline.
Like, nothing makes sense anymore.
Well, I think it is coincidentally, like, once everybody started going online is when everybody, like, I think, first of all, we all started learning about everything bad that was happening. I'm sure it was always happening, but now we all know about it. Yeah. And then now everyone's online, so we're all seeing how, like, just annoying and fucked up we all are. And that sucks. Although I would like to say I'm very well adjusted.
Of course. You've never had any problems.
I've never gone through a season, let alone an episode of anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned this fact from a listener. Did you know that the Queen owns Canada?
I did know that.
I
Yes,
didn't know that. That's
she's
crazy.
she's on our money.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I thought it was just kind of like an honorary thing.
you know how like England is like the colonizers, and at one point they owned like 75% of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they still kind of do. America
Oh.
was the only one. We're like, hey,
We're like, hey, you
no.
guys suck. Y'all
So
trying to
like,
make us eat beans on toast.
here's something I know about that.
Yeah.
1776,
Sure.
nailed it. Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem, the Natty Anthem. That's not the fact. The fact is, the English accent started
Isn't that new?
after. Yeah, it started after America got independence. They used to
we
speak
we
like
have
Americans.
we have the OG accent.
Yeah, Europe, like English people used to speak like Americans, and then you guys did independence. You threw a box in the ocean and were like, fuck England. And England was like, oh, okay, buddy.
Bruv, what's all this then?
I mean, I wasn't going to do the accent, but sure.
I'm good at voices, clearly.
Yeah, I am not. Yeah, so that's when they're like, we got to separate ourselves from these wackos who don't even like tea. Excuse you?
Dude, I love tea.
Tea's great.
Tea's all kinds of tea are. We're having a tea day thing at work where we're gonna all share different teas, have a little tea time.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be virtual though because it's still, the pandemic and stuff. But
Yeah.
it'd be nice. Oh, and speaking of the Queen, turns out she's
She did something.
a little racist.
Who'd have guessed it?
Uh-oh.
A 900-year-old person who was in the war.
900-year-old white lady doesn't like black people? Wow.
Also, like the richest person in Europe.
Yeah. I don't get people who are obsessed with the royal family. Like, I'm not a girl, so like I think it's just something that girls like. And but I don't know what the dude equivalent of that is.
Hollywood?
No, like, because everybody likes Hollywood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's sort of like thinking Trump is funny. Maybe that's the equivalent, like caring about like Barron Trump's big anime titty that he draws
over the
on.
last 4 years.
Yeah, but everybody's been liking the royals since forever.
Yeah, since World War II, probably.
And they don't do anything. They're just I mean, that's such a basic take. Like, that's not interesting, but
yeah,
they suck. I just want to get that out
there. They definitely do. I've done zero research into why people are upset at them. I saw that Oprah did a thing, and I was like, I don't like Oprah either. She's very weird. So I never looked into it, but there's something about Meghan Markle.
Yeah. Actress from Suits, and I don't think she's really done much anything else.
Okay, I'm going to give you my analysis of the situation with my zero information. Meghan Markle.
You're more equipped than I am because at least your country is owned by the Queen still, so you have a little bit more of a connection than I do.
The only connection we have is like she's on our money, and I haven't held cash in a decade, so it's been a minute. So Meghan Markle, she's American, and everyone was upset about that. And then she's also like a third black.
How are you a third?
Good question. I don't do well with follow-ups.
Follow-up question,
yeah. This is well known. Yeah, so she's like a seventh black, and the Queen just realized when they had a baby, and the Queen is now upset. And then they talk to Prince Harry, who is 712, and they're like, are you racist? And he was like, no. And they're like, well, case closed. And then Oprah was like, hey, are you guys racist? And Meghan Markle was like, yeah. And then everyone else said no.
Yeah,
Is that
apparently she had been, I won't say bullied because that makes it sound like high school, but like she was
she
going through so
was?
much shit. She's like, "Oh, I want to kill myself," and I'm like, "Oh, wow." Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. It sucks, I guess. I mean, it does suck, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Is is my assessment at all accurate from your knowledge?
I think honestly, I didn't. I just was sort of seeing memes,
Yeah.
right? So like, I don't really know, and the memes are like okay,
The
but I
meme,
think
all the memes I've seen are just not related to the royal family. They're just
yeah,
pictures
it's
of
just
Oprah's face
yeah. um,
doing
it's
the
it's cool
same.
that who's the one that married Meghan Markle?
Prince Andrew, the pedophile.
No.
I'm
Although
not a.
I did watch a video. I watched his interview talking about Jeffrey Epstein yesterday.
Oh, that's
It
good.
was pretty hilarious. He's not the best liar. I mean, granted, I'm also watching a video with a guy cutting in and saying, "This is where he's lying. You can tell because of these things." And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm going to be
that's.
better at Among Us by learning this information.
I need that for every movie because I'm so dumb.
um, another thing that happened this week, speaking of racism, is a redemption arc for Papa John. I like
Yeah,
that we're just doing the news, but like stupid.
the news 6 days after it happened,
Yeah.
and by people who didn't read it.
I did read the headline that he
I
said he's
skimmed.
taken 20 months or whatever to stop saying the N word.
Which
Which
I,
is
it's very funny. Yeah, he did. I did skim that headline that he took 20 months to stop saying the N word, and I was like, are they just like they're testing him every day? They're like, hey, Papa John, who was in Paris? And then he's just like,
fuck.
so he's so frustrated. He has not been able to rid it from his vocabulary. Not
It makes it seem like he has like Tourette's or something. And that's his word. And he's been trying really hard to not say it.
I mean, that's ableist, if you ask me.
Papa John, one of the first real victims of cancel culture.
No.
That was a joke.
I wonder what he meant when he first got canceled and he was like, the day of reckoning is coming.
Yeah, what was that about?
Like, the CEO of Domino's did die after that, and that was like a thing for a bit.
I've been waiting for that other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I feel like
don't think
something
it has yet.
has to happen. Maybe that was it. The day of reckoning was for him.
He's going to be like, guys, I've stopped saying the N word. I'm going to be the president. And he's going to get elected president, and then he's going to say it. And that's the day
possible.
of reckoning. I
That's
think that
possible. You guys
Honestly,
need a
anything
new
could
president.
happen.
You guys need a new president.
Well, we're getting those stimmies.
Are you?
Yeah. He
I did.
Joe Biden tweeted like a fan cam of like us getting the 1400.
He's a mess. I really feel like nobody likes Joe Biden, and like it's still super early. And like he's not even going to be president by the end because he's going to get assassinated, and
Or
Queen
just die of being
Ms. Harris is going to
Yas Queen.
Yas
We
Queen Ms.
stand.
Harris. She's going to overtake the throne. But I really feel like there's no way Democrats win in 2024.
No, I don't think so. Unless like Harris is like really good, you know, and like the Republicans put up like Mitt Romney again or something.
Well, like I don't think that there's a single chance of putting up Mitt Romney because he's Antifa because he wears a mask and he went to a BLM protest one time.
Dude, Mitt Romney, he like kind of sucks, but it's just it's rough that he's like one of
He's
the
really-
good Republicans,
yeah,
and it's
he's-
still not great.
He's really the best of them, and he sucks, and they still hate him.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Mitt stan.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Can you imagine? Just picture this for a second.
Yeah.
You meet the love of your life, right?
Sure. Well, I already have.
Yeah. Thank you. You meet the love of your life. You get married. You put all this effort, and I do mean effort, into conceiving a child. It's a lot of work sometimes.
Yeah. And
It's a lot of work. And you go through like 9 months of this like torture of being pregnant,
Yeah.
and then you just say mitt.
It's rough.
What do you do?
Is Mitt is short for something?
I think his name has nothing to do with Mitt.
It's Willard Mitt Romney.
Oh, that's even worse.
Willard's not bad, but why did he
Willard's
not?
not good.
He's old as fuck. He's 74.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Biden is,
but he'd still be
87.
young compared to. He's 87.
No, I don't. I think he's 78.
Yeah, he's 78. How old's Trump?
Trump's 71,
74.
72.
He's 74 also.
He's 74?
Yeah, he's old, man.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The passage of time.
Yeah.
I remember when he was running, he turned 69, and I was like, hell yeah.
Well, I just remember Trump from like the 80s.
Yeah.
And to me, he's still the same.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Well, I just had some news pop up, but
Oh, wow.
personal friend of the cast, fellow Austinite Alex Jones, allegedly threatened to throw Trump rally organizer off a stage.
Well,
Alex
he did
Jones
have
has
that.
flipped.
He did have that video that came out where he was just like, "I hate Donald Trump."
I thought they were friends.
Did you not see that video?
I think I heard of that.
Yeah, he was like, they were filming something, and then he was like, "I need a break," and they kept filming, and he was just like taking off his microphone, being like, "I'm so sick of Donald Trump. Like, I hate him. Like, I'm so sick of seeing his face, and I don't want to like ever talk about him again."
But this makes no sense. This article's talking about how like people within the Stop the Steal movement, which I think is funny that it's being called a movement, because I think of it more as a meme.
It's more of a stopped if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about how they had the share goal of like overturning the 2020 results, but also like being like, we don't like Trump. It's like, well, then what do you want to do?
Yeah,
You can't
It's a
like
real
stop the
mess.
steal and be like, well, we're gonna put in a new person.
yeah. Can you imagine if they like on January 6th they go into whatever Congress, the House, and they kill Mike Pence and they hang AOC? Like, what do they think they're gonna do? They think that nothing will happen. But like, what if they were just like, okay, now that we've done this, let's just like do a revote with 2 new people. Let's just fuck it.
Let's put in Mitt.
Let's put in Mitt and Hillary. Hillary couldn't beat Trump, but she could probably beat Mitt. Yeah, so I think that Joe Biden sucks so bad that there's no way that a Democrat wins in 2024, and I think Republicans will put up another populist candidate and not like a real politician.
Yeah.
And it, like, in my heart, I truly believe that it's going to be Tucker Carlson.
I don't know who that is.
He's like the Fox News anchor.
Oh.
You know the meme? It was just like, he's a news anchor, and the headline says like, "What does racism look like?" And it's just a picture of an angry looking white dude doing the news.
Oh, yeah, I know that meme.
Yeah, that's Tucker Carlson.
They're gonna make they're just gonna make Alex Jones the candidate.
I have to pause for a second.
Okay.
Anyway, a little bit of an editing
We're
situation.
back.
We're back. Nobody cares. Anyway, that's Tucker Carlson. We're approximately at the halfway point, so I feel like it is time to introduce the bad boy, and I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Oh, who's your bad boy?
It's you.
Uh-oh.
I heard somebody was
No,
doing a little traffic violation.
I'm innocent.
A little bit of a traffic violation.
Look, here's the thing. I was going the same speed as everybody else. And who's to say how fast that was? Because I'm not going to incriminate myself because I didn't do anything wrong. But I was pulled over for saying I was going over the speed limit. And the key thing here is I was going over the speed limit in a construction zone. Now, if you're speeding in a construction zone, it's a double fine, but that's only if workers are present. Now, I did not see any workers. Now, was it because I wasn't paying attention? Maybe. Was it because they weren't there? That's also a possibility. Because every day I drove through that same route, there are no fucking construction workers there. Not at the time that I was going.
I don't know. In Canada, where I am right now, at least, no construction is happening. Really?
No, they've been doing construction on this one highway for like years and barely making any progress at all. And it's like almost done. Like they've mostly finished the construction, which is also why I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys like finished the highway that you were working on like 3 months ago, you know?
Yeah. But they do like to pretend.
So I'm going to go to court and defend I'm going to represent myself in court. And
are you going to be watching movies wherein the lead character does that?
Do you have any suggestions? I don't know any movies where the lead
Law-Abiding Citizen, Gerard Butler.
I do remember that one.
I feel like that's a great movie, but every time, like I'm like, I really like that movie, and then I look at it on Netflix, I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this movie again in my life.
Doesn't like the back like third of it kind of suck?
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah,
I do remember liking most of it.
It's okay. It's fine. No, man, it's been forever since I've seen it though, and like I definitely didn't choose to watch it. I only remember the scene where the lady like answers the cell phone and it explodes.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was young enough. Yeah, I was a judge. I was young enough that I thought, like literally, the thought that went in my head is like, how did they shoot a bullet through the phone?
You idiot.
Like there was no fire with the explosion. It was just like a small explosion to the side of the head, and the recoil, not recoil, but like the reaction to that is very similar to getting shot in the side of the head. I was also
a bullet, if not a small moving explosion. You know.
Exactly correct. Another classic film in that genre, Fracture, with Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling.
Do you think our friend Dax Shepard has ever played a character where he represents himself in court?
I do believe that he has done that.
Oh, in what movie did he do that in?
Jeez, what is that Dax Shepard movie?
Oh, what could it be?
I can't remember. Is it perhaps Zathura?
Is it?
It's not. Spoiler alert, it's the one about prison.
Oh, wow. That was a bit for just us and nobody else.
I don't understand why nobody else loves that movie.
It's so good, man.
Let's just do another deep dive on the old Google. Let's go to Prison, 2006 film.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've revisited this.
That has been a while. Let me tell you, 13% has not gone up.
I feel like it did go up. I feel like it was lower than that.
I think you're thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I thought it was like 12, but I mean, I'm not saying it went up a lot. I'm just saying it like went up a couple points, maybe. The renaissance is happening. It's gonna. People's minds are gonna be changed.
Someone go back in the archives.
I need to go review it on Letterboxd and give it a 5-star review.
Google users 85% liked this film.
Yeah, it's because it's a good movie.
Truly, it is. Everyone, we gotta get Dax out of podcast jail.
Yeah, he needs to get back on the big screen. Or is that one show that he was on still going? The stupid one where he's in the middle of nowhere with a wife and they just are like not good at living in the middle of nowhere.
Could not tell you. I'll tell you that I'm looking at his filmography on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh boy.
Some real classics.
Rotten Tomatoes, not a fan.
Yeah, I think the people just don't. Oh, he's in Paw Patrol? The movie? That's cool.
That's ACAB, baby.
What's Buddy Games?
I have no idea. His name in that movie is Durfee.
We need to watch this and see how it.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, Buddy Games, the tomato meter 17%, audience score 71.
It's got to be pretty good.
Has to
right?
be.
The Ranch. Okay, that's what it's called, right? No, it's not.
That's
a different
Kutcher.
show. That's a different show. Is it Blood? What the fuck's the show? It was like on TV. Bless This Mess.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, it was canceled after 2 seasons. That makes sense because it wasn't funny. But
okay, it appears Buddy Games is a real dudes rock movie.
Oh, we need to watch that.
It's rated R. After a falling out, 6 lifelong friends reunite to play the Buddy Games, an insane competition filled with absurd physical and mental challenges. Now, all bets are off as the determined pals fight, claw, and party for the chance to win $150,000.
Wow.
It's got all your favorite actors. Kevin Dillon.
Yeah, my favorite actor. It's got Olivia Munn.
Yeah. Nick Swardson. That's it.
The guy from Supernatural has apparently a cameo in the movie.
Do you think they just got it through Cameo?
Yeah.
Because that would be a way to do it.
What is a paean? P-A-E-A-N. What is that word?
P-A-E-A-N.
Yeah. It's
a song of praise or triumph.
Well, apparently, someone is criticizing this film as a song of praise or triumph to arrested male adolescents, and they're saying that's bad.
Yeah.
I think
people can't handle it. This movie came out in theaters in November 2020.
No, because I've been going to see the movies. Oh, speaking of movies, I saw Raya and the Last Dragon last week.
Oh yeah, we discussed that. We were gonna follow up, and then the world happened.
Yeah, then everything. Yeah, exactly. It was good. I liked it. People, I don't think, because there's no songs in it. So if you're looking for a Disney movie with songs, this one is not for you. It's fun. It gets better in the second half because I really didn't like Awkwafina as the voice of the dragon, and then she kind of like stops being annoying. Well, I wouldn't call it a spoiler as much as I call it a warning.
All right.
Kelly Marie Tran was the voice of Raya, which I didn't clock. And I clocked Daniel Day Kim as Raya's dad. because I know his voice from a mile away.
I don't know who that is.
He was on. Was it Hawaii Five-O? No, he was on
I've
some. He was
not-
on. He was on something recently that he left because he wasn't getting equal pay. I say recently. This was like a few years ago. He was on Lost. He was
that
in like a season
sounds
of The
like a
Good
decade
Doctor.
ago. Oh yeah, with
Freddie
Freddie
Highmore, friend of the cast, Freddie Highmore.
We gotta get him on.
He would do it.
I
We need to
don't
get
think that he
a
would.
good. We need to get a good doctor, not necessarily the good doctor.
I need a good doctor to give me a dang vaccine.
Yeah, dude, I'm never gonna get the vaccine. Not because I don't want it, but
They're
I'm
just
it's what I don't get. Not to get on my own personal soapbox for a minute, as I rarely do that. But you know what I don't understand is like when. And only girls do this. They'll get their vaccine and then they'll post like 3 paragraphs on Instagram about how like important it is that they got it and how happy they are. Like they're an influencer. And I'm like, you have like 300 followers that are all doing the same thing. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Who is this for?
Posterity's sake.
It's like these people are like, oh, I've been so alone for so long. I'm like, buddy, I'm alone with or without a pandemic. Like, what are you like? Suffer like everybody else.
Yeah. I was thinking about this in terms of the pandemic. So I'm fine with it. And I'm, free to judge people from my ivory tower.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to parties right now? You absolute maniac. You should be charged with manslaughter. But if the pandemic was like, you have to be around 10 people at a time once a day, I would just kill myself. I would just be dead.
Yeah.
If that was the cure, dead. So like that gave me a new perspective on the people doing that, and I'm like, oh, like that's where they're comfortable, and like, it's really difficult. But also, you should be in jail.
You should.
See
all extroverts should go to prison.
And that's nothing to do with the pandemic, actually.
Yeah, I meant that.
Yeah.
Irregardless, you should stay at home and just chill. And if you can't do that, then you can go kick rocks.
Yeah, stay at prison and chill. Maybe Dax Shepard will be there.
Maybe he will. So I have a bad boy this week.
Oh yeah, we
he
forgot
is a very,
to,
very bad boy.
Uh-oh. Worse than you?
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So this is a story of Stephen McDaniel. Who
that's what I was going to do next week.
Oh, no. Well, then I guess we can...
Good thing I did so much research ahead of time.
Yeah, good thing. What a coincidence.
Real coinky-dink.
So old Stephen McDaniel went to school in beautiful Macon, Georgia, that was any Adam Ragusa fans listening. That was for you.
That was not for me.
Yeah, that was one of those bits that I thought was funny for myself, and that was it. Anyway, so he went to law school in Macon, Georgia, and he had a neighbor named Lauren Giddings, and he he was a
little bit rude to her.
Well, she's allegedly a good-looking gal. There's
not relevant to the
not accounting for taste, but
case.
It is relevant for the case because old Stevie had a little crush on her, and so his way of like doing something about that would be to just like break into her apartment and like record videos of it when no one was in there.
What is to gain from that?
I don't know. I've never really felt the urge to like break into anybody's place anyways, and I certainly wouldn't record myself doing that if I did have that desire.
Yeah, is he stealing underwear?
No, he didn't really, I don't think he did anything. I think he just would hang out in there and be like, this is what it would be like if I was here. and if I was invited inside. And then one time he did that, and instead of it being an empty apartment, it wasn't empty, and
Uh-oh.
a bit of a miscalculation. And due to the stress of the situation, he just had to strangle her, and then kill her, and then I guess to give the police something to do, he chopped up the body and then like hid it in various locations throughout the campus in
As
good old
you
Macon, Georgia.
as you would like to do.
Yeah, and so then she goes missing because she's dead because her friends haven't heard from her in 3 days, and he, as the neighbor, is like concerned, and like he's like, oh, I want to go, we're friends also, I should help find her. And then they all go into the apartment together and help,
it's a
and
real
like look
The
at stuff.
Departed situation.
It is really exactly like The Departed. And he's Matt Damon.
He is Matt Damon. That's you mapped it correctly.
Well, the question is, who's Mark Wahlberg?
Me.
That actually, yes.
I am doing the research, and I will be the last to die. I'm not.
Mark
doing the
Wahlberg
research.
didn't die though, right?
Yeah, he died. Spoiler alert: he dies in like the last 8 frames of the movie. No, wait, he doesn't.
No, wait.
Does he? He
I
kills
don't think
Matt Damon.
Yeah, he kills Matt Damon at the very end, and I think he just pieced out.
Yeah, probably. But he was wearing that whole overall coverall.
Yeah.
He was smart about it.
Yeah. Well, Matt Damon had it coming to him.
Okay. That's my impression of Matt Damon.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's also helping, even though he's the one who did it, but he's trying to look like a concerned neighbor. And at one point he's like on the news and is like, oh yeah, like, we're all looking for her. She, I don't know who would want to do this. Like she's the nicest person in the world, sweet as can be. And then at one point the person's like, oh, we found the body. And then his face is like,
it drops.
It drops and he's like, the body. And then he just goes and sits down and he's like,
I remember when that happened. That video itself went viral before they found out that he did it.
Yeah.
And
well,
I was like, whoa, look how affected this guy is.
People are like, oh wow, he's completely distraught about his friend.
He's a real Mr. Rogers, love your neighbors kind of guy.
Yeah. Real paragon of the community, Stephen McDaniel. Which is a stupid name, by the way.
Yeah, it does sound fake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds like, if you're like writing a shitty book for kids, you name a character Stephen McDaniel.
And he's a cop.
He would be a cop, but this guy's no cop.
He is a lawyer.
Well, he was going to be. And so eventually they bring him in for questioning, and like the first round of questioning, he's like pretty helpful. And then like I think once he realizes the situation, he just is completely, I think on purpose, like shuts down and like is just giving him these really creepy yes or no answers. And he's like, or he'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah, there was the interrogation footage that came out where he's just like completely still for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That made people very uncomfortable. Because like literally he does not adjust his seat at all. Like,
he's very impressive. I mean, I think he knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's and the police were getting frustrated, and like if I was him, I'd be like, well, obviously they're only talking to me because they probably they don't have enough evidence to just do this without a confession, right?
Yeah.
And the police were being honestly a little rude.
I think it's deserved, in my opinion.
Well, in retrospect, yes, because he did do it. But if he didn't do it, then they were being rather rude. I've been watching a lot of criminal psychology videos recently. I could understand why people are so interested in true crime now. It's great. But
I'm
I
glad we're
mostly
a year
listen.
in and you're learning about it.
Yeah, this is a professional podcast. It's the best true crime podcast in the game, folks.
Truly, it is.
Yeah, he's just a very creepy guy. And I think how they got him was because he had because he cut her up with a hacksaw, which he had purchased recently and was holding on to in his apartment still.
Not a smart move.
Which not the wisest choice.
Not a lawyerly move.
No. Also, he is just a weird guy. He collected swords. And they're asking him about his swords. They're like, "Why do you have swords?" He's like, "You use them?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Why do you have?" He's like, "Why do you have them?" He's like, "To have them." And I'm like, "That is a good point. That's why I have swords. I want to have." And he had guns too. That was the same thing. I was like, "Well, people collect guns."
Yeah.
Without a need. I mean, obviously he didn't. I don't think he shot her. I think he
I
just
don't believe that he did.
So why does it matter that he has guns? They're just trying to take down a nerd.
I mean,
that granted did kill a girl for no reason.
He was a big nerd because he was posting on online forums.
Oh yeah, he was like, "This is what I would going to do if I was convicted. If I was in trouble for a crime, I would just fake, dissociate and pretend I don't have any memory of what I just did."
Yeah, I do have the transcript of one of his posts.
Read that for the class.
So his username was SOL. Stupid. Son of Liberty? Come on. What are you trying to be like the son of Sam, but gay?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. Well, SOL, as he was known, sucks. So in 2010, he wrote on this forum, which I don't believe that they say what it is. Could be 4chan. Little name drop for you.
Probably, yeah. One of those websites from the old days.
I mean, it still exists.
It still exists, but...
So he wrote, "I'd go outside." This is how he plans to kill a religious demonstrators at the funeral of a fallen soldier. Which, do they deserve to die? Who's to say?
Not us.
I'm
not pass judgment. That's for the good Lord.
Exactly. I'm not the Lord. I don't get to say who deserves to die and who doesn't, but it's not great to just kill a bunch of people.
No.
So he wrote, "I'd go outside, grab my kit out of the car, pop in a fresh mag, and proceed to slaughter the entire bigoted group, never once doing so much as uttering a sound," which, as we know from this interrogation footage, he would be capable of doing.
Yeah, he had the training. He was not just talking shit. He could walk the walk and not talk the talk because he didn't say anything.
Exactly. When they are all dead, and they do need to be all dead, I'd sit all caps dead.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
I'd sit down on the ground with my gun several paces away from me. So he's planning the distance of where his gun's gonna be. That's the most sympathetic.
Yeah.
And just rock back and forward on the ground, eyes wide and blank, which I feel like he just got from a movie. It's just movie characters that do that. That doesn't really happen.
I think that's a common theme with the criminal psychology interrogation videos I've been watching. A lot of people just invoke movie shit.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. Don't do that. Look, if you're being interrogated by the police, get a lawyer.
Yeah. Study interrogation footage. Don't just watch The Shining and be like, "Oh, this is how people are traumatized."
Yeah.
And then he writes, "Afterwards, I'd remain in this state for at least a day. No talking, no communication, blank, unfocused stares. I do not fall asleep either." He's committed. Eventually, when some
He should be committed. Am I right, folks? Got him.
Eventually, when some new stimulus is introduced, a family member I haven't seen, a picture of my brother or something like that, which, like, why would they show him a picture of his own brother?
Yeah, right.
Like, this is very movie-esque. Of just like, they're going to show me pictures of people that I know. And
do you know this guy? Oh, my brother.
And then, like, this continues to be movie-esque. I shake my head from side to side, blink rapidly, and look around in a panicked manner, asking where I am, what's going on, if my family is okay, why I'm there. And when they ask, I'd say I had no memory of anything that happened after I arrived at the service. Which, like, not a great defense, because you would remember putting the guns in your car.
Yeah, you can't just have a gun hanging out, or like, you'd have to have like a hunting gun of some kind, which you wouldn't use to shoot down people in a service. But you'd have to have that. So you'd also have to have like an expectation of, like, you'd have to build that narrative.
Like,
of
there's
being
a lot
somebody
of
who
planning.
hunts. So you have to go hunting for a while to like make that plausible that you just have it.
Yeah. But, like, otherwise, it's just like, okay, you don't remember what happened when you got there, but what happened before? Like, why did you go there? Why did you have a gun? So, not very well thought out.
No.
And, like, this is him way in advance writing this out, bragging to people on the internet. He's like, look how smart I am that I'm going to do this. And then he finishes it off with a little bit of an epilogue. They probably initiate charges, at which point the family will need to get a lawyer to argue that I had no knowledge of my actions and were not acting of my own volition when I acted. Keep the story consistent, and whenever I am asked about what happened, I look down and put a sad look on my face, relating what I was told happened, as you have no memory of it. I might end up institutionalized for a while so they can try to figure out what caused the blackout, and they may take my guns from me as well as the ability to purchase more. But if I stuck to the story, it's doubtful I'd end up in prison. And then he ends it by saying, of course, this is all hypothetical.
Of course.
Yeah. This is all just world building for a novel.
Yeah, well, that's basically, I think he got life in prison without the possibility of parole, I think.
I read an article that said he got around 30 years, which they're very specific about these things. So I think that was a bad article, but I don't believe that he's allowed to be a free man.
He also has pretty rough hair.
Yeah, he does definitely have bad hair.
That's my biggest beef.
It's a lot like Maui from Moana, our favorite Disney film.
True, but bad, and on a white guy.
Yeah. On the guy that would type that out, that's the hair that he has.
Which is funny because you wouldn't expect, based on what we've said, you wouldn't expect big Maui hair on that guy. I don't think.
Yeah. You expect to see like Freddie Highmore with a mullet.
Yeah, it's like me. So me.
Yep, you are correct.
I am the good doctor.
You know what? This just came to me. I think Freddie Highmore could play like a good Dylan Klebold.
Who's that?
He's the Columbine shooter with Eric Harris.
Yeah, I could see him doing a little school shooting video or movie.
Yeah, I think they could do a biopic.
A biopic?
Yeah, I say biopic, and then I got in like a big argument with somebody, and they're like, "It's biology. It's not biology." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it stands for biographical picture. Like it's the origin is different. Like it's not Latin, it's
Yeah.
English. And then they got very mad at me. And then like a year later, I said biopic to them, and they're like, "Why would you say that? It's biopic." And I was like, "That's what I've been saying, you
Like
idiot."
you stole this from me.
Yeah, this is my thing. Anyway, yeah. So now I say biopic to be a little bit of a dickling.
That is a dickling move. Yeah, man.
That's all I got on that. I did read Sue Klebold's book about being the mother of the Columbine shooter.
Yeah.
That was cool. Everyone should read that. It's called A Mother's Reckoning.
I
Go
can't
read a book. Go read a
read.
friggin' book, dude.
I'm gonna go watch movies.
Don't watch a single movie. Oh, I didn't even get into my whole Lilo and Stitch marathon that I did.
Oh, you did?
No.
Oh.
I did watch the second one, which I have never seen before.
Was it good?
I like it, actually. It's definitely not as good as the first one.
It's not. None of them are as good as the first one, but it's more Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah,
right?
and I was like, yeah, this is a continuation of the story.
Yeah,
it's a little bit contrived, but
you got to get into the animated series.
Yeah, I'm working my way towards it. I talked to somebody at work about it, and I was like, hey, Lilo and Stitch is real good, and he wanted on this tirade that Shrek 2 is the best animated movie of all time.
Well, that's...
And I was like...
I don't know about that.
I mean, the first one is good.
Yeah, I mean, the first two are enjoyable.
I definitely like the first one. I remember very little about the second one, except there's Antonio Banderas' cat.
Yeah,
I kept wanting to say Emilio Estevez, which is not correct.
That's not the right person. Yeah, Shrek. I mean, they're good. Yeah, Shrek 2 is not the best animated movie. That's hogwash.
Yeah, I called it horse hockey, but same concept.
Yeah. What is the best animated movie? It's probably a Miyazaki movie, right?
No, we don't watch. What is it? Howl's Moving Castle. That's
Howl's
the
Moving
best.
Castle isn't good.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. That one's probably...
People do love Spirited Away.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. You should see it.
I've seen Grave of the Fireflies, which is not Miyazaki, but it's the only anime movie that I can confidently say that I've seen.
Yeah, no, Howl's Moving Castle is like very overrated in my opinion. It's like all aesthetic. Like people just like it because it's like, ooh, a hot wizard doing hot wizard things.
Well, like that's the same reason people like Tim Burton movies, is all aesthetic.
That is true. But like my favorite Tim Burton movie, which I think is like actually a good movie, is Big Fish. And it's like
I think his non
like Hot Topic movies are like pretty good.
Ed Wood is good. Have you seen Ed Wood?
I have not seen Ed Wood.
Ed Wood was a director who made like D horror movies, and then Tim Burton did like a biopic on Ed Wood with Johnny Depp.
Because
of course. But this was like back in the day. This was 1990, maybe.
Yeah,
which like that's good.
He hasn't done anything like not goofy.
Yeah,
and
he did
Dumbo, which I haven't seen.
I feel like nobody has seen it, but also like the sales on that were through the roof.
Really? I kind of wanted to see it, but then I heard it was bad.
Oh, of course it's bad. Of course that it's bad.
But it looks pretty interesting and like a decent reimagination of the original Dumbo story. Like it didn't look like The Lion King, which was just The Lion King, but with sort of real lions.
Yeah. Did you know there's a Beetlejuice 2?
I did not know that.
Okay. It's reportedly happening as of January 18th, 2020.
Okay. You
But
know, Big
there's,
Fish. What's Big Eyes?
I have no idea what Big Eyes is. It looks very Tim Burton-y. It looks like a short film based on the cover. What else does he do? No, all these movies suck. God, I hate Tim Burton.
Big Fish is Tim Burton's best film. I'm going on record.
I would agree with that.
Because it's genuinely just like a nice movie.
I like Big Fish. I do like Beetlejuice.
Edward Scissorhands is good too, but it's...
I hate Edward Scissorhands. It's all aesthetic.
Yeah, but it was doing that aesthetic. Like, I feel like it did a lot of that Tim Burton-y aesthetic stuff before he, like...
Went off the
drove
deep
it
end
into the
with
ground.
it. Yeah. But he did still have...
it still had those
Danny
bright
Elfman.
colors too.
Still had Danny Elfman.
I like Danny Elfman.
I love Danny
Corpse
Elfman.
Bride's also pretty good.
I feel like Danny Elfman is so tired of Tim Burton soundtracks.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be the same.
No, absolutely not. Tim Burton's movies without Danny Elfman would be even worse than they already are. But I feel like Danny Elfman just like goes in the studio and he's like, is going to start off like dun 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 dun, and like Tim Burton's like, oh my god, you're a goddamn genius.
Danny Elfman does the same thing every time, and Tim Burton's like, sick, drop it.
Drop it. Yeah. What if Danny Elfman's like really into rap culture and he's like, wait for the drop on this one?
And then it just always gets edited out from like the final cut of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fuck.
Danny Elfman's got sick ass trap drums.
Oh, I would hate that.
It would be very bad.
That would suck so bad.
Just describing my music.
I hate trap drums.
They're just so easy to do, which is why I do them all the time. But yeah, don't do trap drums if you make music.
Why does Big Fish have a 75 on Rotten Tomatoes? That's
because it's just as good as Let's Go to Prison.
It should be much higher than fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which has 83%. Are you kidding?
You know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory used to be... I'm not going to do that bit.
No. Edward Scissorhands is a 90. Why is Big Fish is the better movie? That's completely insane.
Big Fish is absolutely the better movie.
People don't know what they're fucking talking about.
You know, it's like, it's a meme, but I'm looking at his filmography.
Yeah.
Everything has Johnny Depp.
No, they're literally like they're boys, and then he had Helena Bonham Carter and like everything also.
Yeah, but like, it's so much. I forget that it's like it's everything.
I think we need another Tim Burton Johnny Depp team up. It's been a minute since the last one.
I think that we don't need one ever again, to be honest. I think
I
that
need
we've had
another
enough.
spooky Hot Topic ass Tim Burton film with starring Johnny Depp, and let's throw in Danny Elfman. Let's get Helena Bonham Carter in there.
Well, they got divorced because Johnny Depp fucked Helena Bonham Carter in too many movies.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I think they got divorced, though.
They did. Yeah, they did get divorced, but
Yeah.
she can still be in the movies.
She could, in theory. Yeah, I don't want any more of those. I don't think the world needs another Johnny Depp film.
We need Big Fish 2.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Billy Crudup actually rules.
I do like Billy Crudup. I do like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, like that movie actually has like some pretty good star power in it. But I think like not at the time, but like retroactively, it's like pretty good. Have you seen The Morning Show?
No.
It's on Apple TV Plus, so that's like
I will never
why
see
nobody's you will never see it. But if you could find a way to view it, it's really good. And Billy Crudup's in it, and he's like the best part of the show. It's great.
then. I probably won't see it, but I appreciate the recommendation.
If you buy an Apple product, you will get
I
Apple
won't.
TV Plus for a year.
I will not buy an Apple product.
If your wife buys an Apple product.
Oh wait, I do. No, that doesn't matter. I was gonna say I do have an iPad, but it's like an
It's
iPad
old.
1.
Yeah, if you get a new one, then
Yeah.
you get Apple TV Plus.
And
I do highly recommend the morning show, though. It's really good.
All right.
And Ted Lasso is also good, which everybody knows. But
Sure.
those are just some media tips from Coach.
We do love media tips on this podcast.
Yeah, we're a movie review podcast.
We are we are a combination true crime movie review podcast.
Current events. We really do it all here, folks.
We really run the gamut, as they say.
It's your one-stop shop for all sorts of podcasting content.
You don't need any other podcast.
I mean, this is like a hybrid class from like World of Warcraft, from like the old days when they were bad but could do everything.
Damn,
we're
we even
druids.
do gaming.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about gaming a whole lot.
Yeah,
this ep, but there hasn't been a lot going on in the world of gaming for me.
There's been too much going on outside of the world of gaming. Have you heard about this? The royal family thing?
No, tell me about it.
Fuck, I don't do good with follow-up questions.
Oh, I guess we're done, right?
Yeah. I don't have anything
else. Yeah.
Do I have anything else? What else is happening?
Do you have anything to plug?
No.
I just watched my cat slink under the rug. That was fun. So I'll plug my cat.
All right.
Cool.
That sounds illegal, but sure.
My cat's cool. She's like trying to back up out from under there, and she's stuck. Anyway,
I will plug read a book.
I'll plug Final Fantasy 14, and please, if you play it, reach out to the Bad Boy Crimes Pod Twitter, and slide into the DMs. Follow it first, but also slide into the DMs and tell me you play Final Fantasy 14, because I want friends to play that.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. And if you're worried that I will bully you, it's fine because I will never look at those DMs.
Yeah.
So,
and
so
also, I think the starter edition's free. You can get up to level 60 for free without paying anything. And I would gladly level up an alt job with you, if you're new to the game. And if you're not new to the game and then I probably can't play with you because I'm not end game yet. Anyways, so yeah, I just want friends to play that game with.
That's
and
fair.
Follow the Twitter, join the Discord, which is linked in the Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. I'm trying to think if I could plug anything else that I have nothing
Do you
to
have
do
any-
with.
Do you have any albums coming out?
One is in the works.
Very cool.
I did make a 20-second song yesterday.
Nice.
It's the first happy song that I've ever made, folks.
Yeah, your songs are not necessarily sad, but they're never happy.
No, at the best, they're nostalgic for when things were good, but they're definitely
They're
upsetting.
still somber.
Yeah, which I don't do on purpose.
It's just a chill vibe.
I intentionally Googled what's the happiest musical key, and the general consensus is C major.
I was gonna guess a C.
Yeah, C major, E major is also up there. So I was like, okay, I'll do C major, and then if I do a fast song with a high beat BPM, A little musical terminology for you. Bet nobody knows what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what fast means.
Yeah. So it's like if I do a fast song in C major, it just has to be happy. And it was like one of the saddest songs that I've ever heard in my life, and I deleted it. So
So your brain's doing great, is what you're saying.
oh, fantastic. I did make a happy song yesterday, but it's only 20 seconds. So probably not going to be on my next album. My next album is probably going to be my saddest to date of my 2 sad albums.
Great. Can't wait to listen.
Yeah. They all have themes. The first theme was like Alien Lake, and the second one was Christmas. And this one's going to be just sad.
Yeah, it was like the third theme is depression.
The third theme definitely is depression. I have some cover art concepts that are all just sad. So, you know, everything's cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sure is.
This is the part of the podcast where I procrastinate ending it because then I'll be alone. Yeah.
Well,
how you been? I'm kidding.
Fine. Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.